How's it going, you guys? Welcome back to another edition of the podcast. My name is Ramon. This is Dad's podcast project. And today I wanted to talk about breaking up and learning to break up and staying broken up when you decide to break up. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So learning to break up, staying broken up, and deciding to break up and following through with that. I think that these are all essential things that are just a part of the growing process when finding just that person that you want to be with, that you want to spend the rest of your life with, or a prolonged period of time with. Now, I'm speaking in regards to someone specific, but I don't want to throw anybody under the bus because this person does listen to me. So I just want to say that you guys know of someone in your life who's like this. They're in a relationship. They say they're broken up. They go back. They say they're broken up. They go back. It's just this round robin, never ending, up and down, more drama than the Kardashians type of life. And though I always wish these individuals, because I've met more than one throughout my life, I always wish them the best. Like I want them to find somebody who makes them whole, who completes that missing piece that they may need in their life. But at the same time, they're just going to live their life the way that they're going to live it. And if that means saying that this is it, we're done, there's no more, and then the next week, oh, we're working it out. We're going to go to counseling. We're going to try to figure things out. It's just a communication thing, yada, yada, yada. I've heard it. I've been there, done that myself. So I think that learning to break up is something that's essential, and it's something that you learn at a young age. The time when we're in school, the time when we're in I don't know, maybe let's say 5th grade and middle school, whatever middle school age is, and high school. These are the years that we go through a lot of these ups and downs, a lot of these hurdles, and learn these life lessons. Relationships are really, really quick when you're that young. I mean, you might be in a relationship by homeroom and be broken up before you even get to your last class of the day. I mean, the turnover when you're young is fast, and you learn very quickly what it is that you like and dislike in another person. So it kind of segues a little bit into the dating age. And as a father, what is the dating age that we want for our children? Now, everybody has their own opinions on when they want their children to start dating. And I think that just speaking on my own and speaking with the lines of communication that me and my children's mother have with each other in regards to how we want them to be treated. We want them to be treated as equals. We don't want to tell our son, there are no rules. You just date whenever you want to date. And then not have that same sort of system of rules apply for our daughter. And we also don't want to say, well, your younger sister cannot date until she's 18, or say in other cultures, when she's 15 or 16, she can't date. So you can't date. It doesn't make sense to us. To other parents, you do you. For us, I didn't have that system of rules placed upon me growing up, and my wife didn't have that sense of just, this is the scope with which you have to live your life in. These are the confines with which you're able to move. And when you reach a certain age, you then get a little bit of a broader sense of just leeway with what you can do, like a more independence. And I think that those younger years are very critical in just makeups and breakups, having your heart broken, dating, being stepped out on. Um, there's a lot of things that you go through, and though it's when you're young, very traumatic to go through breakups, to be with someone that you think, wow, this person is my whole world right now, and then have it just end and learn to pick up the pieces and get over things, turn to your friends, turn to your family. I mean, whatever your social circle is, and grow from it. Become stronger, become more savvy to the world, more prepared. Because as an adult, hopefully you've been through all of this. Hopefully you've been there and done that yourself. And now you're not entering a world of adulthood and you don't even know how to date, how to really go about being with someone that you might not really want to be with. But because you've never learned how to break up, you've never really learned how to say, this is it, and walk away and not have that person come back and say, well, let's try to make it work, or I'm going to change, or whatever the drama might be in that relationship. You've experienced enough relationships yourself to be able to pick yourself up and say, no, that's it. As soon as I'm done, and be content with that and be happy with that. Maybe be a little bit sad about it, but know that you'll be able to move on, that will still be somebody else for you after you learn and grow from this process or from this past relationship. So these individuals that I've met through my life, this individual that I'm not going to name right now, it just seems to me that they never really quite grasp that concept of what it means to just be done, to just be over something and to move on. That it's been a pattern as well with these individuals that they never really do move on. They never have that period where they break up. They maybe take a little bit of time to get over it, because there's always that rebound phase where you're just going to jump after whatever. And that relationship is more than likely just a rebound. And then you break up from that one, and then you move on to the one that lasts for a little bit longer. And so they never really have that moment of just content where they spend time to focus on themselves, better themselves, take a look back, and constructively criticize themselves on what they could have improved upon. Because we can always improve. We can always be better. Every relationship, every job, whatever it is that you are pursuing in life and does not work, it's always a two-way street. It's not 100% the other person's fault. I mean, maybe if, it becomes physical or verbally abusive and things like that, then yes, it's 100% that person's fault. But if it's due to indifferences, like, you just can't agree on chores, or you can't agree on, because there are relationships that do come to a breaking point over things like that, or spending time together, or you're spending too much time doing other things. So all of these things are just like stepping stones in regards to learning and to growing into just finding that better relationship. I'm not going to lie, I got a text. I lost my train of thought right there. But getting back into what I was saying, just figuring it out, like figuring out what it means to just be alone, to just be content with yourself, spending time with just yourself, and knowing that when you step out to find somebody else, you're looking to find somebody not to be that other half, but to be that partner in life. That a lot of times we have this conception that, or this notion that we need to find somebody that fulfills this missing piece. And I think that I prefer to look at it like finding somebody who complements us and we in turn complement them and help elevate us to that next level, whether it's taking us out from the dating phase into the parenting phase, taking us out from the, I don't know, even encouraging us from the college phase into the working world phase, or to starting your own business phase. Like there's people that complement what it is you're passionate about in life and help elevate you. They're not fulfilling some void that you need. I'm just lonely. I need somebody. You fill that void. That's not going to be enough. You need somebody that complements you. You need to be content with being alone. And it just touches back on these individuals that will remain nameless. I don't think that they have that security in just being alone, not being with anybody, having your phone just sit there and not receive a text message for days on end, remembering what it was like before you even started dating at all. What did you do? You had hobbies, you had friends, you had things that you did, hung out with your family. I mean, all of these things are things that you can still do. But I think that when we reach a certain age, we feel like those are secondary and a partner in life must come first. That's not the way that I like to look at things. That's not the way that I want my children to look at things when they get old enough to reach that dating age. And whatever that dating age is for them, that's for them to decide. If it's in middle school, it's in middle school. My wife and I, we talk about these things all the time, and though we say it now, I mean, we hope that we still hold true to these values ourselves, and we don't step back and become hypocritical. Because again, I didn't have any rules on myself. But then again, it's like I think that it was up to me to bear and to show that responsibility when I entered the dating arena, I should say. And the same for my wife. I mean, when she decided that she wanted to date somebody and she wanted to pursue relationships and going through that stuff, it was her own decision. It wasn't out of angst or out of my parents don't allow me to do this, so it's something that I want to do anyways, to rebel. It was never anything like that. It was, do you want to do this? If so, do it. But maintaining an open line of communication, hopefully, with our adolescent children when they reach that age. Because again, that's usually the cutoff point when they don't want to talk anymore. They don't want to talk to you. They don't want to tell you how they feel or what it is that they're going through. So I think that it's going to be an interesting growing and learning process when we reach that age. But per today's topic, really just honing in on being content with being alone and understanding that you don't need to be with somebody. That's the reason why a lot of people keep going back. That's the reason why you break up and 2 days later, you miss those text messages, not necessarily from that person, but just in general. You miss seeing a text message on your phone. And it comes from a place of loneliness. You're not comfortable just being alone. Now I tell my person who will remain nameless, I tell them, I mean, focus on yourself. What is it that you want to do? Stop chasing all these people and do right by yourself. Be content with being alone. And when you're ready, step back out there. Do I believe it's going to happen? No, I don't. Am I waiting to get that, hey, we're trying to work it out again? I'm not really waiting for that. Do I expect it? Yes. I can't even count the amount of times that this person has gone back. It's become, in the beginning it was comical. Now it's just, really? I don't care. But again, y'all are going to do you. You grown adults. If that's the type of person that you are, that's the type of person that you are. But know that people notice, You should take notice yourself. Take pride in what it is that you want to put out there. Take pride in yourself and know that you do deserve better. You shouldn't have to settle and keep going round robin with a person that doesn't elevate you, that doesn't compliment you, but instead just has you continue to go through these cycles, these seasonal relationships, but it's with the same person. It's good, it's bad, it's good, it's bad. That's where I want to leave it with you guys. That's sort of what I had on my mind. I figure it segues in pretty nicely with parenting, though my children aren't at that age yet. Eventually, my wife and I, we're going to have to cross that bridge. We're going to have that discussion with our children. And what's that going to look like? How are we going to approach it? And they're going to have heartache, and they're going to have breakups and makeups, and they may very well themselves be in the position where they continue to go back. How do I help my children if they find themselves in that position? If they show those character traits? Because when it's somebody else, when it's not a blood relation, it's easy to say it doesn't matter to me, it doesn't affect me. But when it's your children, when it's those who you love the most, and you don't want to see them hurt, or you don't want to see them go back and work on something that may not be fruitful, how do you encourage them to build self-confidence, to try to better themselves? But again, a very small percentage, some of those work out. Some of those relationships that are just this rubber band effect, they end up working after maybe the 6th or the 7th try. Who knows? But I'm curious what you guys think. I want to open the dialogue up. I want to have the conversation, and I want to hear what your experience has been. Do you know people that just continue to go back to a relationship that isn't very beneficial? I refrain from saying something that's, I don't know, like unhealthy, but just something that isn't really good, in the sense that it doesn't make them a better person. Or are you a parent who has children that are entering the dating world themselves? What age did you allow your kids to start dating? Or did you even have those rules? Did they just never have you have to be this old to start dating? You just date when you feel like dating. And was the dialogue as a parent still open? Were you able to still have those conversations and not feel like you're left in the dark after they reach high school and they just leave into the world and come back and you only know a small fraction of their life? I'm curious. Educate me on on what I have to expect when I reach that level with my children. But that's all I have for you guys today. I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to these podcasts. If you guys are catching me on iTunes, feel free to leave a 5-star rating. That would be awesome. Even a 4, that's still good. And leave a comment if you're catching this on YouTube. Questions, podcast suggestions, thumbs up, all that stuff. It all helps, and it continues to help the podcast grow. And as always, you guys, I want to thank you again. And until next time.